I'm going to show you how to make finger joints with pinned tabs in them that keep the joints in place. This also allows for easy assembly and disassembly of your joints. The first thing we'll do is create some user parameters. We'll make a user parameter of ply. We'll also make a user parameter of height. We'll make that 50. And we'll make a user parameter of width. And we'll make that 100. Next, we'll create a component. We'll call this component tab board. Then we'll create a sketch. I'll create a sketch on this plane. I'll create a center rectangle. I'll click on the origin and I'll type height, tab width. Then I'll grab a rectangle and I'll draw two tabs. I'll dimension this one and I'll click on this dimension and I'll divide it by 5. Then I'll make this one equal by using the equal constraint. Next, I'll get the line tool and I'll draw a line in between these two. Then I'll draw a line from here to here. Make sure it's perpendicular. Press escape. Select the line tool again. Draw a line from here to here. Make sure it's perpendicular. Click the check mark. Then we'll shift click each of these lines. We can make them construction lines and click the equal constraint. The last thing we need to do is make sure these lines are coincident with these points. So I can click the coincident constraint and then click these points, click this line and this point, and now everything is perfectly centered. Now we need to draw the slots. So let's get a rectangle, draw in the middle, and then in the middle here. We'll go ahead and make sure these are collinear. Click that one, and then this one. We also want these to be centered, so we'll draw a line from here to here, connecting the midpoints. Notice if you get this happening, make sure you click the coincident constraint and lock it in. Then we'll go ahead and we can move this up. And we'll draw another line from this midpoint to this midpoint. Make sure it's perpendicular. Then we can select each of these lines by shift-clicking and make them construction lines. Finally, we can add some dimensions. Let's give this a dimension of ply. We'll also give this a dimension of ply. And we'll give the distance between here and here ply. These tabs don't have any distance yet, but we want to have at least ply dimension here. So let's see what that looks like. That looks okay. And then we can use the equal constraint for here and make those equal. Now I have this locked at the midpoint, so everything is constrained. This looks a little skinny though, so I think I'm going to make this ply 1.2. That just makes it a little bit thicker, so we have more strength there. Great, so now our sketch is finished. You could break these two pieces so you don't have to click everything, but I think it's fine. Finish the sketch. We'll press E to extrude. We'll click this piece and this piece and this piece, and we'll extrude ply. Say OK. Now I'm going to create a copy of this piece, but before I do that, I'm going to go up to the top level component. I'm going to create a new component, and we'll call this tab board 2. Then I'm going to construct an offset plane. I'll click on this board right here, and I'll move this plane over, and I'll call it width times 0.75. Then I can create a sketch right on this plane. I can press P to project, click this form, press OK. Then I can press E to extrude, and then I can extrude ply. So now I have two of these. I'll go ahead and select the top level component. I'll create a new component, and I'll call this slot board. Let's create a sketch. This time we'll go ahead and create a sketch right on this plane. Then we'll draw a rectangle. We need to make sure that these lines are collinear, so click this constraint in this line. Then we'll click this constraint in this line. We should project in these tab slots, so we'll do that with P. Press P. Click this one. this one, and this one, and say, okay. Now we're ready to extrude. We can say E will extrude up this plane ply. Great. Oh, looks like we missed a piece over here. So if that happens, you can right click, edit feature, and then make sure you select all your pieces and press OK. Now I'll select the top level component. I just need to draw in these tab pieces that will pin our finger joints in place. So let's create a new component. We'll call this pin. And then we'll create a sketch right on top. And then we're going to project in. This time, though, we're going to project in this inner piece. So we'll project that in. And we'll project this in. We'll say OK. Then we can just draw a rectangle. So we'll draw a rectangle right here. We need to make sure that these are coincident. So we'll click this one, this line, and that point. We'll click this point and that one. Then we have our width perfectly fine. We just need to dimension these from the edge. So I will dimension this from the edge, let's say 20. And the same thing here. And so I don't type it again. I'll click that dimension and now it's editable. And in fact, I probably want it just a little bit longer. So let's make this 15. Then we're ready to extrude. So we'll finish our sketch, press E, click this plane. And now we need to make sure that we click all the pieces. And our distance will be ply. We can say OK, click the top level component. Then we can create a mirror. But before we do that, we need to construct a midplane. So select construct midplane, click this edge and this edge. And now we have a midplane. Then we can go ahead and create a mirror. So we will select mirror, select this component. What mirror plane? We'll select this mirror plane and we'll say OK. Now we have all our pinned pieces and you can see how that joint works. Hopefully you can make pinned finger joints on your laser cut projects.